In the heart of a bustling city, there stood an old apartment building, worn and weathered by time. Its faded bricks and cracked windows told stories of countless lives that had passed through its doors. Yet, despite the passage of time, one thing remained constant: the legend of the ghostly cat that prowled the halls at midnight. The residents of the building spoke in hushed tones about the cat, whose spectral form was said to appear only when the clock struck 12. Its soft, ghostly paws made no sound, but its presence was unmistakable. Those who had seen it described a slender, silver-furred feline with eyes that shimmered like the moon. The building had been the site of many strange occurrences over the years: whispers in empty hallways, the flickering of lights, and the sudden chill of a cold breeze. But it was the cat that truly captured the imagination of those who lived there. The story went that the cat had belonged to an old woman who had lived in the building decades ago. She was a reclusive figure, rarely seen outside her apartment, and her only companion was her beloved cat. The woman was known to be kind-hearted, often leaving food out for stray animals and caring for the plants that lined the building's corridors. However, one bitter winter she fell gravely ill. Despite her neighbors' attempts to help, she passed away quietly in her apartment, her cat by her side. The cat, heartbroken by the loss of its owner, refused to leave the apartment. It stayed by the door, waiting for her to return, until it too succumbed to the cold and loneliness. When the neighbors finally entered the apartment, they found the cat curled up in a corner, its body cold and still. From that day on, strange things began to happen in the building. The first tenant to move into the old woman's apartment reported seeing a cat-shaped shadow moving across the walls at night. Others claimed to hear faint meowing, though no cat could be found. It wasn't long before the residents realized that the cat had never truly left. Clara was a new tenant, unaware of the building's eerie history when she moved in. She was a young artist, drawn to the apartment's large windows and affordable rent. The building's faded charm appealed to her, and she quickly made herself at home. It wasn't long before Clara started to notice odd things happening. At first it was small: a flickering light, a door left ajar. Then one night, as she was working on a painting, she heard the unmistakable sound of soft footsteps padding across the floor behind her. She turned quickly, but the room was empty. Brushing it off as her imagination, she continued working. As the nights went on, the occurrences became more frequent. Clara would hear faint meows echoing through the halls and feel a sudden, inexplicable chill in the air. One evening, just as the clock struck midnight, she caught a glimpse of something out of the corner of her eye, a silver shape darting past her open door. Intrigued rather than frightened, Clara began to leave out small bowls of milk and scraps of food, hoping to attract the ghostly feline. Each morning the bowls were empty, though she never saw the cat itself. But every night, the soft, ghostly footsteps would return, and Clara would feel a presence watching over her as she worked.